Before this video starts, make sure you guys subscribe because roughly 70% of you guys aren't who are watching my videos. And if you want to buy some merch, the link is in the description. Yo, what's up guys? It's Nick from Begins Gaming. Welcome back to another MLB The Show 20 Dynasty videos. Today, we have the first episode of a new series. And before you guys say, oh, you're stealing someone else, you're stealing Healy, you're stealing Atron. I did this last year. Everyone has done this. Like, it's just like a community-wide topic that people do. I'm just doing it for video ideas at the end of the season and for fun. I did this last year as well, so I want to keep doing these every year. But today we have the first of many top 10s. Today we have the top 10 catchers in MLB The Show 20 Dynasty. The reason why I do it in the winter is because I want to do it when when most of the players are out. And as of now, most of them are out. There'll probably be like a couple more in like the new event, but it's pretty much over for content. But yeah, a couple things I need to say as well. To qualify for the top 10 catchers list, you need to be a primary catcher. For example, Jimmy Fox. He's my starting catcher on my God Squad. He would be by far number one on that list, but he's a primary first baseman, so he's not going to be on this list. And number two, I'm only going to be doing one honorable mention this year. Last year I did two. Kind of just a waste of time. And number three, this year I'm not valuing their price on the market. I know I did that last year, and I don't know, I just changed my mind. I don't want to eliminate BR cards just because they're really expensive. So I'm not taking that into account anymore. So yeah, today we have catchers. And this is probably one of the weaker ones, but still not a horrible list. And we're going to start. The honorable mention is going to be Yadier Molina. And Yadier Molina, he's a good hitter, not great. His fielding is really what gives him that 98 overall. He's one of the best fielding catchers of all time, and in this game, it makes sense why he has those stats and why he got a Gold Glove card. The reason why this card is not higher is just because the guys ahead of him are just better hitters. It's just plain and simple, and I value hitting more than fielding. But Yadier Molina, if you're a Cardinals fan, put him on your team, go for it. I'm sure he'll be pretty serviceable and he won't make any errors. Our number 10 catcher is going to be a finest card, and it's going to be Jacob Stallings. And comparing him to Yadier Molina, not much is different. His fielding is a tad bit worse, but his hitting is better. That's really what puts him at 10 and Molina at the honorable mention. This guy is very good against lefties. He's a very good fielder. Solid against righties. And he is around 100K. You could just do the team affinities. I have all the team affinities done, obviously. But yeah, pretty solid card. At number 9, we have a 98. We have Joe Torre. And Joe Torre, now he technically does have worse stats than Jacob Stallings, but this card is very underrated. He is a very underrated hitter and a very underrated fielder. I mean, this card is underrated. I've played with this card a lot, so I'm going to favor him over Jacob Stallings, who I haven't really played with as much. Now, the hitting stats are actually pretty similar. The only thing that's different is you're probably swapping the power versus lefties and the contact versus righties between him and Stallings. He has that high stat against lefties for power instead of contact versus righties. The fielding, Stallings is a little better, but Joe Torre has more secondary positions. He is cheaper, but that isn't a value anymore. I'm going to have to get used to not saying that. But yeah, pretty good card. At number 8, we have a postseason card, Travis Darnell. Now this card is very underrated. Very cheap, 23K, maxed out stats versus righties. Here, let me move my face cam so you guys can see the attributes. Would have been smart, because catcher's speed doesn't matter. There we go. So, Travis Darnell, really good stats against righties. I mean, they're maxed out, so it can't get any better. My OCD is kicking in. Let me just do that. Sorry. Stats versus lefties, still pretty solid. Good vision, good discipline, good clutch, good fielding, good arm. Like, the reason why this is ahead of Joe Torre is just because he's a better hitter and he's maxed out against righties. Number 7, we're going to go back to the finest series and we're going to go to JT Romino. Now, JT Romino, he is better than Darnell, Stallings, all those guys. Probably because he has the slight edge in contact versus lefties and power versus righties, and that speed. That speed is actually pretty nice. But you can't go wrong with JT Romino. He has, this is just a name I made up. He has inverse splits. Reverse splits is different than inverse splits. Reverse splits is what Darnell has. Reverse splits is an actual name for something where a hitter hits better against the same arm, or let's just say a righty hitter hits better against a righty pitcher than a lefty pitcher. That's having reverse splits. This is what I call inverse splits. This is just a name that I made up where someone is better against contact against one arm and then better against power against the other arm. For example, right here, Romino's better in contact against lefties, but he's better against power and righties. Just a term that I made up. It's called inverse splits. So he has inverse splits, which means he's going to get it done against both sides. He has a good fielding. He has some nice speed too. So JT Romino, number 7. Number 6 is going to be Pudge. Pudge I have ahead of JT Romino because he also has some speed, but he has much better fielding, and his hitting isn't really that much worse. If you really think about it, it's really not that much worse. This card is a lot better fielding. He's not going to make any errors. So Pudge is going to be number 6, and the reason why he's the reason why he's ahead of Yadier Molina by like 5 spots is because he's just a better hitter. I mean, they're kind of the same fielder. He's just a better hitter, and he has some speed. So number 5, we're going to go to our first BR flawless card, and it's going to be Gary Carter. Gary Carter I have at number 5. He is a good hitter. He is a solid fielder. The reason why, technically, I think Pudge has the better stats, but those secondary positions, in my opinion, put Gary Carter ahead of Pudge. But this is a very close battle for 5 and 6, if you get what I'm saying. Like, this is really close. You can't go wrong with either of them. I just went with Gary Carter for those secondaries, and you aren't losing it as much going from Pudge to Carter. So yeah. Number 4, another BR flawless reward. It's Johnny Bench. Now, as of now, Johnny Bench is probably the best hitting catcher out of the bunch so far. 89, 100 versus righties, 114, 125 versus lefties. Great fielding. He can play 6 positions. Now, he might not play them well, but he can play 6 positions. This card, there's a huge gap between Johnny Bench and Gary Carter. There's a pretty big gap. And I think Johnny Bench is better than Gary Carter at almost every stat. So Johnny Bench, number 4. We're going to go to the last of the 3 BR flawless cards for number 3. And I know this is going to be a little controversial, putting Mike Piazza below some other guys who you're going to see. But Mike Piazza, he is the best hitting catcher in this game against lefties. I'm not going to say in the game, and you'll see why. But against righties, 113, 105, very good. Maxed out against lefties. The fielding is what hurts him. If he had gold fielding, he would be probably number 1. He'd probably be number 1. But Mike Piazza, he is in the silver. It's not going to take him down that much. He's going to be at number 3 for me. So, yeah, Mike Piazza, number 3. Number 2, we're going to leave the market because this card is non-sellable, and he's on my team. Buster Posey. Buster Posey, in my opinion, is the best bench bat against lefties in this game. And he is also much better in the field much better in the field. The reason why I have him ahead of Mike Piazza is, yes, Mike Piazza has better hitting, but the only stat that he has a lot more points in is power versus righties, and Posey completely outduels him in the field. Now, I probably shouldn't show his prestige. I should probably show his regular card comparing them, because it's not fair, so here you go. But in fielding, he completely destroys him. That's really why Buster Posey is number 2. And then at number 1, this might shock some people, I have Finest Salvador Perez. Now, the thing is he is not my starting catcher. My starting catcher is Jimmy Fox, but he can't be on this list because he's not a primary catcher. Jimmy Fox is a better option, obviously. But if you're looking at primary catchers, Salvador Perez is the best in this game. And I've used him in events, 495 in 110 plate appearances. That's just amazing. He has inverse splits as well, as I like to say. 125 against contact right and power left. 88, 112 for contact left, power right. That's very good hitting. That is comparable to Mike Piazza. It just is. And his fielding is better. The reason why Salvador Perez is ahead of Buster Posey is because although his fielding is a tiny bit worse, his hitting is just better, and this guy's just a machine. So if you need a catcher, you don't want to get Jimmy Fox, get Salvador Perez. He's a beast. So yeah, that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I've been your host, Nick from Against Gaming. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.